Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for my Sagittarius people. So if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know about the channel, you can find in the description box, such as all my subscriptions, which you can find through the Patreon link, my website, how to follow me on social media, and how to participate in my weekly psychic reading giveaway, which is like the video, write the word healer in your comment box, and subscribe to the channel. Those three things will get you to enter into my free psychic reading giveaway. Now, if you're someone that already wrote the word healer and you haven't heard your name called and you haven't listened to the videos and you don't know whether or not your name has been called, just go back to your comment, look to see whether I wrote winner underneath it. And if I did, reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com so we can set up a time that I can, do your psychic reading live stream right here on YouTube. Okay. Now, I'm going to do a general reading for Sagittarian, so know that energy is fluid, roles may be reversed, you may have to flip it, switch it. Again, just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Know that I could be talking about something that did happen in the past, is happening in the present moment, or is about to happen. Again, just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Okay, I always like to start off my readings looking at the spiritual energy first. That's going to let us know what the karmic situation is, what is the energy that's the underlining energy that's influencing your situation, your current situation, whether that's with a relationship, whether that's with a job or anywhere actually in your life. Okay. And a lot of times the spiritual energy can actually affect everywhere in our life. If we have a spiritual block of feeling lack, then we can experience problems within our finances. We can see that within our love life. We can see it everywhere in our life. So depending on what the wound is. Now, also spiritual cards, which is what I consider my shadow deck, will also tell us about spiritual gifts or spiritual energy that you can utilize to transform your situation as well. So let's look. First card out, merciless forgiveness. So obviously there's someone in your life that maybe you're having a hard time forgiving. Merciless forgiveness doesn't just mean forgiving the other person. A lot of times it means forgiving ourselves too. Again, especially if we've been in a karmic relationship where we've been giving to something and depriving ourselves, trying to make something work that doesn't work. Once again, merciless forgiveness usually is required when we feel that someone really betrayed us, when someone really has hurt us. Okay, unstructured and reversed. So I don't really read my cards reversed. So even though I pulled it out reversed. And the reason why, because shadow cards are just shadow cards. So there's a sense that someone hurt you because they maybe kept a relationship very casual. They kept it unstructured. They didn't want commitment. They really never were clear about what they wanted. So again, this happens a lot of times in spiritual relationships where we really feel connected to someone and we assume because there's such a tight bond or this instantaneous connection that that person thinks the same way that we do and feels the same way that we do, where they might think and feel the same way, meaning I really dig you, I really am attracted to you, I really feel like you feel like home, but the way that they deal with the situation is going to be much different. It's again, you may be someone that wants commitment, that likes security, and this person is again wants to keep it very casual. That's again going to create problems within the relationship. Especially when I see unstructured, I always feel like that's commitment phobic. There's a sense of I don't really know what's going on, and that's fine if both parties want that. The problem is it's just usually both parties don't want that. It's like one person is trying to feel out the situation to see whether they want it, but they're not giving enough energy to really determine whether they want it, and they're usually giving energy to a lot of other people, which is why it would require you to have merciless forgiveness with this situation. It's again, yeah, detachment, because your person was like, again, detached. You never really felt like they emotionally were invested. And so if a person is breadcrumbing you and they're really, again, doing that with a lot of people, as I said, they're not getting to know you. So they may be compartmentalizing, meaning they have like you in their life to like, again, feed them emotionally, but it's again like you serve a purpose almost, instead of them actually being in a relationship where they're giving and then receiving, and it's a balanced relationship. This person's detached, where emotionally, if a person is detached, they're not going to be paying attention to what you need emotionally, which would also be a reason why you would be like, well, went through this whole relationship with you and you never really changed, and you never really like gave me what I needed, but I gave a lot. So that's kind of the energy there, Sagittarian. I don't know if this is you or your person, but let me tell you, usually if you have two people that are binded together where you're not getting what you need from your person because they're detached, well, usually they're also not very happy because they don't really want to be binded to a situation. So we could be looking at a trauma bond type of relationship here, which are the most toxic. Okay, yeah, unlock DNA. So the way that we unlock DNA is to break karmic contracts, break family karma. Maybe you grew up in a family that you watched your parents stay together because they were miserable. So here you are trying to like, you're recreating the same thing. So you're kind of selling yourself short by like staying in something that isn't working. So this is the spiritual underlining energy that we're dealing with here, Sagittarian. Like I said, I don't know whether this is you or again the person that you're connected to, but it is definitely your situation. Again, you might feel like I have continually forgiven this person, but I never see any change. They stay detached because you can't make a person like show up and be present, especially when they are committed to like keeping it like very casual. Is like that. Understand the way that we unlock our DNA is to not stay in relationships like this where it's one-sided. And the reason why is because when we're unlocking DNA, we're changing our mind. And when we change our mind, we actually change the chemicals that we release in our body. If we're angry all the time, we can see how that would affect our DNA. We see how spiritual issues turn into physical imbalances. So this is why it's saying unlock DNA. So you might have grown up again in a very imbalanced environment, and you're kind of unconsciously recreating your situation that you grew up in. It's like a trauma bond. That's what trauma bonds are, that you find yourself reliving an experience that like you witnessed growing up, and it affected you traumatically, even though you were not the person that went through it. Your mom might have went through it, a sister went through it, someone that you cared about, loved, and it affected you. And so now you inherited that trauma, and now it's your job to unlock DNA, which is to integrate the spiritual lesson. And the way that we do that is not to stay angry. I mean, we can stay angry is easy, especially if we've invested in someone that refuses to like show up for us. But it's to have forgiveness for ourselves. And we can do that if we're putting the energy into ourselves instead of trying to make someone that is committed to not giving us. Okay, so chariot, self-awareness. There's a lot of self-awareness here, right? So the chariot is forward movement. But it's also, like I said, self-awareness, where I feel like you are in a situation where you just don't want to stay in the situation. You're realizing that your person is not really giving anything. And Queen of Wands, and you are, it's time to put yourself in the center. Like, again, putting yourself in, like, again, first, which, bravo, that's exactly what you need to do in this situation. You can't make a person love you by saying, love me, love me, love me. You can, if a person loves you, they'll change. So this shows this person, if the person doesn't love themselves, they're going to have a hard time changing for you. So it's again, and they're detached. And so detachment tells me that there's trauma. And so they're not 100% present. And so what you're realizing is, again, I'm not going to be happy if I stay in this situation. It's time for me to take action. It's time for me to, put the energy into myself. It's again, Knight of Wands, breakthrough. So yeah, because then it's reversed. So there's a sense of that you want to do this and that you're again trying to do it, but I also feel like you're being pulled back. It's like that you're fighting yourself a little bit doing it, which is very normal, especially if you've been in a relationship for long periods of time. I also feel like every time you do it, there's a sense of like this relationship is based on dominance and control. So like there's a lot of promises and no delivery. There's a lot of like saying that things are going to get better and then really nothing happening. And so it's again judgment. Again, we pulled the judgment card. So it's again, and when I read judgment, that's kind of like a final thing. When it's judgment, it's like it's time to wake up, fulfill your deepest dreams and desires. You will find successful solutions. So again, I feel like you've been in a relationship with someone that is detached, and it's again doesn't make you feel good. It's again, they want to keep it real casual. So there's a sense of self-awareness that this relationship is also never going to move forward in your direction, and you grew up witnessing this. So there's a sense of knowing that you have to do something. There is a little bit of struggle, but there you are going to make the judgment call. That's the situation going on right now, and the judgment call is what? It's again moving on, of leaving this situation. So you're not happy about it, like any relationship, okay, that we've invested time into. But what you're seeing is again, this person is like emotionally not there. They can't. Let's see what their trauma is. Why are they not showing up in this relationship? What is the trauma bond? What is the karmic thing that that's keeping them blocked, and just like where they weren't moving forward for a long time. They were just kind of like there and detached, kind of like just going through the motions. Like, what was the bond? Okay, aloof. It's again not getting involved, protecting your heart. Go ahead and take risks. So this person is like detachment is created a lot of times from trauma, right? Trauma in childhood. So when a person gets into a relationship and they're again there but not, and this is again a one part of feeling being acting like aloof rather, is when they keep it unstructured, right? And when a person's detached, that's a sign that they're aloof, right? And no one wants to be in a relationship where you're giving all this energy and person's feeling aloof. That's what that confirms that. And so there's an intimacy issue. There's a detachment issue. So the person, in order to heal that, needs to heal themselves, and they need to heal the person that created the original trauma. But as far as you and this person that you're connected to, Sagittarian, I feel like you're making a judgment call. You're like, I'm not staying in this. This isn't working for me. I'm moving on. Because your person never learns. They never like have a breakthrough. They never, again, they keep saying that they're not, that they keep saying that they're changing rather, and they're not. So one more, it's again submissive. So yeah, this is the same thing, that they're going along with everything, but they don't really want to. So I don't trust this energy. Like it's almost like your person that you're attached to is aloof. They're acting like they don't care. They're detached. And then they're acting like they're going along with it. So it's again, we know that that's not a person that wants to be in a relationship. That's a person that almost is acting like they're trapped. And again, because they would like to keep it very unstructured, which is the exact opposite of being submissive. So I'm feeling like you and your person are in a relationship that has been ongoing for a long time, and it's outgrown itself. So you have one person that's trying to kind of hold it together, but is on their way out saying, I can't do this. You're not changing no matter what I do. And your other person that's saying, yep, that's right. I'm going along with it because I know eventually you're going to leave me. I don't want to leave you. So they're taking the coward's way out. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like they're like, the relationship has just grown out. Like you guys grew out of each other. There's too much dirty water underneath the bridge. And that's because of healing that needed to be done that wasn't done. And so it might have started out good, but now there needs to be forgiveness on, like, both parties need to forgive themselves for putting up with it, and then need to look at the trauma that was caused and forgive the person that created the trauma originally. So again, the person that you're connected to, or this is you, which I don't feel like it's you, because like I said, I feel like you're leaving, but their way is to be very passive aggressive, to be like, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to like pretend, I'm going to act like I'm going along with it. All this, look at submission, aloof. Like all these cards are like, again, like detachment. It's like all the same thing: detachment, aloof, and submissive. It's all like the person's given up their right almost to forfeit, because they know that that's going to be what pushes you over the edge, and that it's going to make you leave. And what I do see is you are going to leave. I want to see what the hidden truths are. And I know that that's kind of like a shitty message, but it's a common one when relationships have grown out, but there still is an emotional bond where no one wants to hurt each other. It's like the person doesn't want to hurt the other person. They just say, I want that person to do all the dirty work. And the hidden truths. The hidden truths are, you came closer than anyone. So again, your person like knows that they have a problem, that they're detached. They're like, I did let you in. There was love there. I let you in as close as I can do. So this is, again, very common for people that have trauma. They have trauma in childhood. They in a relationship for a certain amount of time. They never 100% give because they're emotionally detached. And because they are, it's again, they become aloof within the relationship, and the other person that they're connected to usually becomes aloof too, because they're not getting what they need. So the relationship deteriorates. And then what happens is the person's like, well, I just, like, again, you came closer than anyone. They realize that, but that's because of how much time and energy you put into this relationship. What other hidden truth? I love you. So it's, again, they do still care about you. I just don't believe that they're in love, because they have a problem, again, loving themselves. So there's a sense like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I care about you. You came closer than anyone. And like, I'm almost like, I feel like the person is given a lot of time, a lot of energy in this relationship because they've been submissive. They've been going along with it. So they have like drawn some attachment, but there's no passion. It's, again, we both know I am not the one for you. So it's, again, it's a very common in our relationships that you can love someone, but no, I'm not the one for you because I can't give you what you need. But this is, again, I believe that this person wouldn't be able to give anyone what they need, because they need to heal the root, which is the detachment problem, the trauma, again, just giving up the right to live, not having an identity, becoming a chameleon, becoming submissive. And then because they don't really like the life, it's not their life, they're, again, giving up their right, they become aloof. So they're there, but they're not. It's like they've checked out. It's, again, no one wants to be in a relationship like that. It makes you feel angry. It makes it makes you feel as if that there's something wrong with you. It's very triggering, like I said, when a person does that. So let's see what one last spiritual message for the twin flame, because this is, again, a twin flame relationship, but again, both parties are not on the same vibration. One person's on a lower vibration because they need healing. So it's, again, a lot of times these relationships are designed to pull out the trauma. And if, again, if it's true love, then the other person will rise. It's karmic because we have to make that person rise, and we make them rise by how much we give them. It looks like at one point, Sagittarius, you gave this person a lot, and then they expected it, and then they didn't give. And that's actually what deteriorated the relationship, because they were detached to begin with. And when a person's detached and you're the one that's giving and doing for them, they never open up their heart. This person has trust issues. They have to give in order to open up their heart. You have to make this person think about you. And this is the exact opposite. They're aloof. They don't care. Because, again, they're going along with the ride. But all the while, they knew that they were going to leave eventually. They knew that it wasn't going to work because they weren't really connected emotionally. If you're not connected emotionally to something, eventually you're like, I could take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. And it becomes that way. So it's, again, giving someone too much too soon and not seeing them giving you. So these two fell out, and I'm going to end it with these two cards, which is, I've never felt love like this. The depth of it can be so overwhelming. So it's, again, this person feels how much you care about them. And it's, again, when a person, like, again, there was a lot of potential here to the point that this person still loves the person. They're just not in love, but they've never felt such a deep connection, where I don't want to even say connection. They've never felt the depths of someone else's love. They don't have that, but they can feel the love you have for them. And so, again, and that's what also makes the person stay in the relationship for a long time, but they know that they don't give enough to you. So it's, again, they've never felt that before, where, again, someone's so self-sacrificing. They really learned what true love was through your action about how much you gave, but that's very one-sided and very kind of selfish. And then the other was you deserve someone that will sweep you off your feet and shower you with love. So, again, this person is like making it like true, like they know that they should do that, but they also know that they're not giving that to you. And so there is a sense of love there, because this person is saying, I know what you deserve. It's like, I've never felt like, again, someone care about me as much as you do. I don't know why I don't have the same feelings. And the reason why they don't have the same feelings is mainly because they don't love themselves enough. They need to heal their deep-seated wounds. They need to, again, go back to the original wound, forgive themselves, forgive that person, do that healing. It's, again, find themselves. It's, again, and they like really find themselves through the creation process, through, again, feeding themselves, and then, again, like, then work on a relationship. This person can't give because, again, they're wounded, but it doesn't mean that they don't love, because, again, the relationship is, I do love you, I do care, just not in that way. And it tells me that they did at one point, but if you give and give and give, and you let a person not give you anything in back, and when you can feel that they're kind of there but not, and not really participating and acting aloof, and you're going along with it, you're kind of making them do it, it doesn't make the relationship better. It makes the relationship really fall apart, where the person now is saying, now I'm going to leave. I do care about you, but I'm not that person for you. I'm not that person for you. It's like, again, so, but you came closer than anyone else. I do have feelings for you. I do love you, but I'm just not in love with you, which happens over time in these trauma bond and karmic relationships. There is love. It's just, there's wounds. And if you need to ask yourself, you didn't just realize that this person was wounded. You were in this relationship for a while, and you got to a place where you said, this is enough, and you've decided to move on. But will you be able to recognize when someone's detached again? Hopefully you will, because like I said, this is something that's very painful, because if a person's detached, it means you're giving a lot, and it's how much you give is how big the hole is, the pain, the emptiness that you'll feel once this person is out of your life, which is what makes a trauma bond so difficult to break, because you put that's was part of your identity. You associated with that person as part of your identity through how much you gave. And that is a story of the person loved but wasn't in love. All right, Sagittarian, if you resonated with that, give me a like, comment. Again, write the word healer in the description box so you can win your free psychic reading. And until next time, be true to you, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.